Hi, I'm in the reading machine, and today I'm reading Mud Puddle. Probably know that this is Robert Munsch, but this is Robert Munsch's very, very first book. It's by Robert Munsch, and it's illustrated by Sammy Solomon. The photography is by Simon Shamperio. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit of Robert Munsch, okay?
Sure.
Robert Munsch never wanted to go to school. All he wanted to do was not play on his video games, not watch TV. He just wanted to read books. After he passed school in college, he became a daycare person. One day, he was telling funny jokes and a boy said, "Ew, I don't like peas," and then he used his voice like, and after he's done the story, everybody would fall asleep. One day, a person went up to him and said, "You should write down your stories." So now what Robert Munsch does is he doesn't tell the stories to kids anymore. He says it to himself and go like, "Achoo!" like that. And he tells it over and over until he gets it right. And then he sits down and just writes the book. Gives it to Simon Solomon or Munch Marcello. Michael Marchenko. Or if you looked at some of these, almost everyone I've seen doesn't have the sky.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even know that was a Robert Munsch book. It doesn't look like one, right?
Yeah, you look at it and you're like,
What do you think of this book, though? It sounds a lot like a Robert Munsch book, though.
yeah, it's like, it saw Julianne sitting down there and it just jumped right on her.
There's a lot of repetition. That's what Robert Munsch's books are known for. And then, of course, the sound effects, like you mentioned.
So Robert Munsch says to Jerfy, RM, Robert Munsch, and Sammy Solomon, sorry. It says to my wife June, SS, Simon Solomon.
Cool. Okay. You want to do, let's start reading?
Let's start reading! Mud Puddle. Joanne's mother bought her clean new clothes. Julianne put on a clean new shirt and buttoned it up the front. She put on clean new pants and buttoned them up the front. Then she walked outside and sat down under the apple tree. Unfortunately, when they got up in the apple tree, there was a mud puddle. It saw Julianne sitting there and it jumped right on her head. She got completely all over muddy. Even her ears were full of mud. Julianne ran inside, yelled, "Mummy, Mummy, a mud puddle jumped on me." Her mother picked her up, took off her clothes, and dropped her into a tub of water. She scrubbed Julianne till she was red all over. She washed out her ears, she washed out her eyes, she even washed out her mouth. Julianne put on a clean new shirt and buttoned it up the front. She put on clean new pants and buttoned them up the front. Then she looked out the back door. She couldn't see Mud Puddle anywhere. So she walked outside and sat down in her sandbox. The sandbox was next to the house, and hiding up on top of the house was the mud puddle. It saw Julianne sitting there, and it jumped right on her head. She got completely all over muddy. Even her nose was full of mud. Julianne ran inside yelling, "Mummy, Mummy, Mummy. A mud puddle jumped on me." Julianne's mother picked her up, took off her clothes, and dropped her into a tub of water. She scrubbed Julianne till she was red all over. She washed out her ears, she washed out her eyes, she washed out her mouth, she even washed out her nose. Julianne put on a clean new shirt and buttoned it up the front. She put on clean new pants and buttoned them up the front. Then she had an idea. She reached way back in the closet and got a big yellow raincoat. She put it on and walked outside. There was no puddle anywhere, so she yelled, "Hey, Mud Puddle!" Nothing happened, so she yelled even louder, "Hey, Mud Puddle!" Julianne was standing in the sunshine in her raincoat, getting very hot. She pulled back her hood. Nothing happened. She took off her raincoat. As soon as she took off her coat, out from behind the doghouse, there came a mud puddle. It ran across the grass and jumped right on Julianne's head. She got completely all over Muddy. Julianne ran inside yelling, "Mommy, Mommy, a mud puddle jumped on me." Julianne's her mother picked her up, took off her clothes, and dropped her into the tub full of water. She scrubbed Julianne till she was red all over. She washed out her ears, she washed out her eyes, she washed out her mouth, she washed out her nose, she washed out her belly button. Julianne put on a clean new shirt and buttoned up the front. She put on clean new pants and buttoned them up the front. Then she sat beside the back door because she was afraid to go outside. Then she had an idea. She reached up to the sink and took a bar of smelly soap, and she gave it a smell. Eek! She took another bar of smelly soap and gave it a smell. Eek! She put the smelly soap in her pocket, then ran to the middle of the yard and yelled, "Hey, Mud Puddle!" The mud puddle jumped over the fence and ran right toward her. Julianne threw a bar of soap right into the mud puddle's middle. The mud puddle stopped. Julianne threw the other bar of soap right into the mud puddle. The mud puddle said, "Ark, eek, rock." It ran across the grass, jumped over the fence, and never came back. The end. You know, this is my third Robert Munsch book I've read.
I think third or fourth, yeah.
No, third.
Third?
Because I read Noops.
Yeah.
Noops. Hilarious when he took the shower. Class Clown, when Leonardo was being silly and his teacher didn't like it.
Uh-huh.
And then Mud Puddle.
Yeah. Probably more to come, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Robert Munsch is my favorite author.
I know that, yeah.
We'll see you later, folks, and have a wonderful day. Read a book a day. Remember, these books are waiting for you.